again, watching some of these other guys talking about building homes and houses in the Philippines and how they think is the best way. I haven't heard anybody with the right idea as far as I can tell. They are all doing things like paying contractors to build their house in hopes that they do it right. Well, I got news for you. I built my house bigger than theirs, cheaper than theirs, and a whole lot better than theirs because I'm smart. And they're just all a bunch of dumb Americans, as far as I can tell. First of all, things to do are hire workers yourself. Do a little research. Look around at the houses being built. Talk to the guys that are building the houses. Find out who's good, who's not good, and hire the good ones. They work cheap. 800 pesos a day, 700 pesos a day for what they consider here to be, they call them carpenters. Those are guys that know how to do cement and hollow block work to build a house. They know the right bar to use, and you can change it if you don't want it. I have a couple places on my house that I didn't want the bar they wanted to use. I used a bigger bar because I had other plants that they couldn't see in the future. I hired a couple of carpenters, a couple of diggers, a couple of laborers, and that was it. And I have a big house. My house is a castle, actually, with a private bar, tennis court, golf course, saunas, jacuzzis, and swimming pool, and a fishing pond too. And I designed it as we built it. Now that may not be the way most people like, but if you saw my house, you'd understand. It's very unique and very cool, and very, very big and easy for my wife to keep clean if we don't have a maid, which sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. My deck space is completely open. Living room. But my deck is also part of my kitchen, dining room, living room. The downstairs is, it's basically an apartment downstairs, but we use it as a bar. Plus I have a private bar you have to cross a bridge. What I did was, instead of buying hollow blocks, which everybody seems to want to do, they build hollow blocks here, 60 hollow blocks to one bag of cement, sometimes 70 to one bag of cement. That's the quality they get. The carpenters like it because they're easy to break. They literally cut them with a cement trowel. When I had my hollow blocks made, I made 50 or 45 to the bag of cement, so I have thicker, better hollow blocks. But I hired a kid that was a laborer that also knew how to make hollow blocks. So every hollow block in my home, we made on the property. It cost me 50% less, and I got twice as good of blocks. Everybody else buys truckloads of hollow blocks. They're made out of shit. Their quality's terrible. And they'll say, oh, the quality's really good because they can cut them. Not true. Big thing is, make sure when they're putting the house together that they fill the hollow blocks with cement. Now, crappy contractors don't pay attention. Their workers, they're just hiring laborers. They're not hiring really what they consider to be cement guys. The contractor will hire laborers. You don't pay attention to them. They're doing, they slop the cement on the top of the hollow blocks and put them together, dump some down inside, and they hope it's enough. Wrong way. Also, if you have a little brain, you can put any size rebar in the house. They'll tell you what size is normal. You want it bigger, buy bigger. They don't care. They'll put in anything you want. I cantilever part of my master bedroom. They wanted to use 12 bar. I didn't think it was big enough. I went to 14 and 16 because it cantilevers out far enough. I'll make sure that it doesn't break. And it doesn't. It's been here 6 years, so. And been through 2 big earthquakes. My deck. I have a huge deck. It sticks off the house, I don't know, almost 20 feet. Again, I used bigger rebar in it. It also holds a jacuzzi on the deck. So my rebar is a little bigger in places I want it to be bigger. Yeah, you spend a lot of money with contractors. Now, if you're getting a bank loan, You have to have them design the house, and whether you like it or not, it's going to the bank, and they won't give you a loan on the property unless you do it, the bank's way and the contractor's way and all that. I have the money. I built my own house. I didn't use a bank. I paid for it as it was being built the way I wanted to do it, and my home's done now. I don't owe any money on it. We own the property. I got the property for free. My wife's family gave it to us, which was very, very nice. It's about 2 acres altogether. Um, Made a really nice big difference for us. But home wise, you can buy. The guy I was just watching says you can buy a house here for 6 million. Yeah, you can if you want to spend a million pesos is approximately $20,000. So that's like 120,000. Yeah, that's old time USA. You can find homes here for 22,000, $25,000. Um, Granted, they're not perfect and like beautiful homes like you're gonna buy in the United States for half a million, but for a $25,000 house, if you put 10,000 into it, well, you got a beautiful two-story house or a single-story house. One of my friends bought a house here. He paid a million, he paid less than 20 grand for it. He put a fence around it. He put a deck on it. He did a little bit of remodeling inside, nothing big. Changed a couple of windows, didn't like them. Repainted the whole house and some other stuff. I just got hit. He bought it to sell it. He just sold it for 3.5 million. He had maybe half a million extra into it, maybe $8,000 into it extra. Um, there's a lot of things here, and the roofs, for instance. I have all cement roofs in my house. They're poured roofs. They're 4 or 6 inches thick. Now, on some of my roofs, I have corrugated tin or metal over the top of them, like my deck. You can see corrugated roof. I have a Baje Kubo on my deck. It's my coffee room. And yeah, if we had a big storm, yeah, the roof might blow off. So what? I'll put it back on. I don't care. It's not that expensive to have the welder do his job. And, I have a full-time welder that works for me, actually. And if you're smart, you get somebody like what I have, he's my handyman and gardener. He does welding, electrical, plumbing, general maintenance. Like I needed some shelves put up the other day. He put all the shelves up, all the brackets, all that. Um, he runs electrical wires for me if I need it done. He fixes the pumps if they break. And he does the gardening if we need gardening done. He cleans the yard up and cleans up the dog shit on top of it. So, and he costs me $800 a day, which is about $16. Well, now it's about $14 now a day, and that's for 8 hour day. He works 6 days a week, so it's not that expensive to have a full-time guys. I have 2 full-time guys that work for me here all the time. But I work at night. I have business in the U.S., so I'm not one of these, poor Americans that live on their Social Security at $2,000 a month and hope for the best. I'm not like that. But to build your house yourself, or not physically build it yourself, but do you design it? And if you need you want to get a bank loan on it, get your plan approved by a contractor. Let him look at it and approve it. Then you can get the bank loan as long as it's approved. Um, I have a friend that got a bank loan for, I think it was 2 million or something, 1.5 million something. And he didn't keep up with the way the bank wanted it because the way the contractor designed the house wasn't good. I looked at it and I went, this isn't good because his house where it floods and they didn't put the posts in the ground. We have posts built. We build it with posts and beams. They're big concrete posts that go in the ground, and the posts weren't deep enough. And so I talked to him and I said, dude, you need to make these posts deeper. And so he did. He made them bigger and deeper. And luckily he did because last year it flooded where his property was, and he lost most of the ground around the beams, and he would have lost his house. Well, since he didn't do it the way the bank said, they called the loan, and he had a big problem. He had to go and make some major payments on the loan and talk him into going and looking. And then the bank, after they went and looked, they said, "Oh, wow, glad you didn't listen to the contractor. We'll give you the loan back." So the contractors aren't that good. And, if you trust them, you're just getting burned. Everybody I know that's had a contractor here that knows anything, you're getting fucked in the end all the way around. You're an American. They will take advantage of you until you have friends here. Once you have friends, get taken advantage of here. I've been here long enough to have enough friends. I have workers that are carpenters that do woodwork, that carpenters that do cement work. I have guys that make hollow blocks, painters. I can get everything done. And I get local prices or better than local prices a lot of times. Um, it all depends on what you do. Tile work's another thing. When you get your tile work, don't make the mistake of buying the great big tiles. No, it's stupid because they all crack, for one, and they pop loose. Make sure you have grout lines. Don't do zero grout. Make sure you have big, at least like I tell guys, make an eighth of an inch grout line. Because if you don't, they're going to come loose. That's all it is to it. We've had a bunch of them come loose in my house, and I know better. We had 40 of our big tiles pop loose about 4 months ago, which we don't care. I'm too much into my house. We made a 20,000 piece mosaic on the floor where the tiles broke. So we made it into something beautiful, where instead of having to retile the whole house, we just made it gorgeous. We do a lot of things like that in my house. We have a big relief on the wall that was a cement snake, and because I have a lot of artwork in my house, we just got done covering the whole thing in 25 centavo pieces. So it's a big, I don't know, it's 2 meters long, big snake hang on the wall, and it's all covered in silver coins. It's beautiful. But like I said, a lot of artwork here. If you can figure out what you want in a house here, you can do it. And, there's a lot of things in the Philippines that make it well worth doing that way. Don't listen to these guys and say, get a contractor, let the contractor hire your workers. No, bullshit on that. I call bullshit to that idea. And people that are doing that, every one of them ends up getting fucked in the end. Hire your own workers. Do the research. You're going to build a house somewhere. Walk around the neighborhood. Talk to the guys that are doing the houses. Find out how much experience these guys that are building the houses have. They build a house in a month. Whole house, it's done. And you can hire those guys by the day. And it's cheaper. Like I said, an expensive guy is 800 pesos a day. That's $14 a day. And like I said, make your own hollow blocks. You can make your own materials. Buy the sand, buy the cement, and the molds. The molds aren't that expensive, and have them make the hollow blocks on your own property. That way, instead of making 60 to every bag of cement, making them weak, you can make them 40 if you want. Make them heavy duty and thick, and you play hell. I don't think dynamite would take my house down. And be creative. Don't build an American house here. Guys, it's stupid. Build a house that's going to be nice and comfortable for you. Like I said, my deck is all open. I don't have anyone, even when I'm sitting in my coffee bar, and it's next to the jacuzzi. But you can see, trees, give me a little flicker around the house. So in my living room, we've got some of my pets. I have 3 pythons, big one. Two of them are very big. One of them's little. And we have dogs, lots of dogs. I have 10 dogs on my property. No, we like dogs, and we have the property, and we have 19 gates, so I can move the dogs around on the property. They're guard dogs. They're Belgian Malinois and Huskies. Nobody come on my property, even though all the neighbors know my dogs. We've never shut the front door to the house. We leave it open. We've been here a long time, and we don't not lock it. We don't even shut it. Well, you see, somebody wanted up all this you see out over here. There's no windows or walls. That's the second floor. You can climb up here and get in my house. There's no crime where I live. None. Crime here is somebody steals a bicycle and they find it a week later. Hopefully it'll stay this way for a long time. It's nice here. Get in the provinces. Don't move to where the damn Americans are. God. Move to where the Americans are. You're bringing your bullshit from the United States here. Don't do that. Don't tip the tricycle drivers. Don't tip the parking attendants. Give them 20 pesos or something. That's cool. Don't tip the bag boys in the grocery stores. That just ruins our economy. I don't want to have to pay people to live here. It's stupid. Don't do that to us. You pay 50 pesos for a tricycle. Pay 50 pesos for a tricycle. That's enough. That's what they want. Give them. They're not used to the tip thing. And I got on a tricycle one day with this guy, a friend of mine, new from the U.S. He tried to give the tricycle driver $100 bill. I'm like, don't, no, not doing that. I wouldn't even let him. It's just horse shit. That's not the way I want my life to be in the city that I'm at. I like it to be. And I know I know probably 50 or 60 tricycle drivers. I know most of the policemen. I know the police chief. We know the mayor. We know a lot of people here, mostly because of my home. We're getting ready to put a boxing ring out in the back property to do what they call street beef. So it's any two guys can come fight each other, and we can make bets on like chicken fights. I'm working on getting permits for that right now. But one thing about the Philippines, I will say, wherever you live, just enjoy it. It's an easy lifestyle. You don't have to stress. You don't have to worry about all the things that you have to worry about in the U.S. Gas is cheap. Electric bill is getting a little expensive, but my house is big. My electric bill is $200 a month or more. But I have, 4 full-time air conditioners going too. The electronics here are cheaper than in the U.S. I don't care what anybody says. You can buy cell phones and TV sets cheap. Air conditioners are cheap. Installations are cheap. We have a lot of the same things you guys have in the United States. And like I said, I will never even go back there for a visit. I don't care what happens. They collect my Social Security. Good. I don't give a shit. I'll work till the day I drop. I don't care. We already got it set up. My wife has 2 rentals in my castle right now that she can use if she wants to make places for people to stay so she can afford to live here if I'm dead. So, and we're going to build a couple of duplexes, I think, down in the back, or one anyway. So we'll see. Anyway, you guys, I hope you kind of enjoy the truth about living in the Philippines. I think I should call it the truth about living in the Philippines. No shit. Because I'll tell you, these Americans, another thing. I might as well get into this really quick. Another guy I was listening to the other day was talking about him going to the hospital and how he went to the private hospital. He was really impressed. He had a scratch on his leg or his arm or something that got infected, and so he went to the doctor. And he ended up in the emergency room, and he ended up going here and there, and it cost him $3,000 or $4,000, like $5,000. It was $5,000. I tore my big toe off. Literally, I ripped it off from the middle joint all the way. I had my toe in my hand, tore it right off. And I was in the field when it happened. I put it back together, put my shoe on, and I went to local community hospital. Now, community hospitals are not pretty. They're dirty. They're understaffed. I would not say they're clean by any means. However, and this is the big however, things that happen to people a lot. The community hospital is a great place to go. First of all, it's free, which makes it, if you don't have a lot of money. I have the money. We could have gone to a private hospital, but what the fuck? I don't need to. They get practice on a lot of normal stuff. Cuts and bruises, cuts, and small infections like in your arm or your hand. Me tearing my toe off. That's, they know how to do simple things. Stitch your toe back on, for instance. Figure out, they figure out what's wrong. They have the same laboratories. They use the same labs that the expensive hospitals use sometimes. They take x-rays if they need to. They do all the same stuff. The difference is they deal with, I don't want to say poor people because that's not true. Smart people. Because even people who have money go to the community hospital for some things. I wouldn't go to a community hospital to get an operation. No. But for little stuff, like I said, ripping my toe off, which I considered little, they did fine. They stitched it back on, and I swear, if I could show you my toe, you cannot see. I don't know if I can get it in the light enough. I tore it right there. There isn't even a scar. That was about 7 months ago that I did that. And there's not even a scar. They did a great job. Uh, and I had an operation on my other toe one time. I kicked a barbecue stick and it went underneath my toenail. They had to cut it out. Same thing. It cost me, I think, I bought medicine. It cost me, I think, $10 or something. That's 5 years ago. So, you don't have to go to the expensive hospitals for little stuff. If you've got you need an operation or you think you're really sick, go to the community hospital. They'll tell you need to go to a real hospital, not here. They're totally straight up front about it. You got Phil Health or whatever you want. Go to one of the bigger hospitals or pay cash. It's not that expensive. My brother's wife was in a private hospital. My brother-in-law, she had 3 major operations on her stomach, spent over a month in the hospital. It cost her $2,000 for everything. Yeah, big deal. Not very much. So, the Philippines is set up to be in the Philippines. When in Rome, as they say, do as the Romans, right? Well, don't pretend that you're a rich American all the time, because you don't need to be. You can be a poor American with a handful of money in your back pocket, and you could still get treated very good here, and you could still get taken care of very well. And, your family, if you have a good family here, when you get old, they're going to take care of you. They're not going to push you to the curb. They're going to treat you like you treat your family. And my family in the U.S., I won't even talk to them. I can't stand them. I love my family here, my daughter, my wife, and all of her family. They're wonderful people. I love them all. So, okay, you guys, anyway, that's it. I'm done. Hope you enjoyed the notes here. Leave a message. I'll read the messages eventually. And if you want to comment back, I'm more than happy to give you a comment back. And okay, I'm going to try and turn this one off. Goodbye. Have a good night.